Ghanaian. So 18 chamfans, 10 industrial water pumping machines have been burnt in the eastern region following the deployment of military personnel to stop illegal mining activities. The operation occurred on the Boardroom River in the Etiwa East and West districts. No arrests were made. There's more in this report.
The deployment is in response to government's renewed efforts to stop Galamsey following pressure from organized labor and the general public. The Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners partnered the military to undertake the exercise. As part of this operation, 18 chamfan machines commonly used for illegal gold extraction, along with other industrial equipment, were seized and burnt on the brinks of the Boardroom River. The Boardroom River, a critical water source, has suffered extensive pollution due to the illegal activities of miners, prompting swift action by the authorities. Following its pollution, part of the Denso River, which feeds the Wager Dam, has also been affected badly. The military-led task force made its first stop at Enyunem in the Etiwa East district of the Eastern region, a known hotspot for illegal mining. Although the operation aims to crack down on Galamsey operations in the area, reports suggest that several miners fled after receiving a tip-off, temporarily halting the activities before the arrival of the task force. Colonel Eric Tinedu, commander of the Operation Halt Task Force, has announced that the military will remain stationed around the Boardroom River and other targeted areas for the next 2 weeks as part of the first phase of the operation against illegal mining, known locally as Galamsey.
You all can see the situation, it's not palatable, and we want to work hard to make sure that we clear all these miners off our water bodies and make sure the color retains. Thank you, sir.
Right, so clearly it's a conversation that we'll try and get some further perspectives on in the next few minutes. In the meantime, though, let's bring you some other related subjects.
We're still staying on issues of illegal mining. Stakeholders in the fisheries sector are raising concerns over the continuous decline in fish production, especially in the Black Volta and other water resources. This has been attributed to the unending impact of illegal mining. Leadership of the fisher folks laments the illegal miners have on many occasions pounced on their members in their attempts to conduct fishing activities on some rivers.
The persistence of illegal mining practice with its accompanying huge environmental problems is not only threatening the decline in crop production, but also depleting aquatic animals like fish. Already, the demand for fish in Ghana far exceeds the supply, leading to a reliance on imports. In 2022, for instance, Ghana's fish requirement was 1.3 million tons, but domestic production was around 600,000 metric tons, necessitating the importation of additional tons at a value of over $150 million. Whilst government strives to increase domestic fish production to help cut down on importation, illegal mining activity is thwarting that effort. Stakeholders in the aquaculture industry seem unhappy with the development.
Banda side and the savannah areas on the Black Volta, they actually use weapons to even make sure that our people who live in the communities leave the area for them to mine. And this is what is happening. And so we are appealing to the media and all the stakeholders to help us, the fishers, to make sure that these illegal miners leave the river areas for us to be able to fish. The fish that will grow for us to catch, they died 3-6 months ago, a year ago. The resources is reducing.
In parts of the Ashanti region, like the Amansie East, catfish is showing great promise. Unfortunately, this is the very area where illegal mining is taking place. And some of the farms, the farmers come and they half baiting you, half threatening you.
The stakeholders want an action to be taken now to get rid of illegal miners on all of Ghana's water bodies to save the situation. The fisher folks, however, emphasize that should the miners be allowed to continue with their destruction, the fear of increased fish importation will soon become a reality. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
Welcome to the Election Command Center. Now, the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, has kicked against the request by the Electoral Commission to select party agents to be trained for the printing of notice of poll and ballot papers. Speaking to TV3, the Deputy Director of Elections of the NDC, Dr. Rashid Tanko, said that the meeting goes beyond the party agents, hence the need to involve the party leadership.
The Electoral Commission, EC, is set to commence the printing of ballot papers for the December 7th general elections from Friday, October 11, 2024. Ahead of that, the Commission on Thursday, October 10, met agents of the political parties to arrange them on the process. But the main opposition, National Democratic Congress, NDC, has raised concerns about the process. Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is a Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC.
Actually, the meeting should have been for party leadership and not for agents, because most of the decisions they wanted to put on was for leadership to take decisions on them. One was about the notice of poll. They needed us to sign off on it. And we think that this forum was not a platform for that. And interestingly, all the political parties all agree that, look, the party agent doesn't have that mandate to do that. It's rather the principals. And so we've proposed that tomorrow we should have another meeting where principals will come. They will bring the notice of poll. Then we all sign onto it. When we sign off, that one document will be used for the printing of the notice of poll.
NPP Director of Elections and Research, Evans Nimakun, backed the decision by the Electoral Commission to engage parties in the electoral process.
We agreed together that the EC must come to the party with the sample notice of poll for us to sign off. Signing off means that we want to make sure that the candidate picture is clear, the names are well spelled, party symbol is clear, party name well spelled, before they can go out to do the final print. So, because once printing comes out, you cannot raise issues about it. So, we need to sign off before printing can start. That is the decision for today.
He called on the general public to have confidence in the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission has selected 8 printing houses to undertake the printing of notice of poll and ballot papers for the December 7th general elections.
Meanwhile, in the camp of the NPP, the party's running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, has urged voters in the Afram Plains north of the Eastern region to reconsider their long-standing support for the NDC. He was addressing chiefs, committee members and party faithful during a campaign tour of the constituency. The overwhelming reception was indicative of the flag bearers' popularity. Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh noted that despite years of overwhelming support for the NDC, Afram Plains North has been neglected when it comes to critical developmental projects. He said the NPP is the only party with a genuine interest in the well-being of Ghanaians, describing the party as inclusive and non-discriminatory.
If I take a look at the underdevelopment in Afram Plains and you still vote for NDC, it baffles me. If you take a look at where I come from, when you talk about roads, schools, hospitals, electricity, water supply and employment, there are a lot over there. So when I came to Afram Plains, I was expecting to see some improvement here.
He highlighted the stark contrast between the two parties, stating that while the NDC has taken the region's support for granted, the NPP has consistently worked to improve the lives of people in all parts of the country.
You voted for the NDC for 32 years, and now you are telling us that if we don't fix the roads, you won't vote for us. Unless you want to deceive me. The roads will be fixed, but I do not think Afram Plains wants to improve.
Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh said the incoming Dr. Baumia Napo government will develop upfront plans, reiterating the need for the people to cast their ballots for the NPP to retain political power.
In more political stories, Vice Presidential candidate of the NDC, Professor J. Nana Opoku-Agyeman, says that the party will restructure the education sector to make it better if voted for in the December elections. She accused the NPP government of messing up with the sector to the detriment of children in the country. The professor was addressing party faithfuls during a campaign tour in the Eastern region.
Everyone is a witness to the developments that the NDC did. But some will ask you to go and check their records on a tracker. Do we even understand what a tracker is?
And now we go cry to me the table so I'm a bunny when to me and I just on one way to me swat not this one and I was in the case then
Our children's education is important, but not the one that children go to school for 2 weeks and come back home for vacation for 3 months. We will come and make it better and not cancel anything as being peddled around. We, the NDC, are more concerned about the well-being of everyone. That is why we build schools, hospitals, roads, among others.
It is better to be any hole. When you saw what to watch it, Lipano or better opposition. No, what them no idea. All these basic school now, basic teachers bungalow now, Wabaya Payana, Wabesi hospital now, and so bad, or the Siaba, or the Siaba, then you not send your Babaya, and yet you be near to show. Let's see, I should show the Abema or Mino, Obiaho Atono.
Also, Programs Manager for Wademos and CDD, Paul Sekufo, has called on the Electoral Commission to engage in broader consultations with major stakeholders ahead of this year's election. He emphasized the need for a more robust verification process to reduce potential violence. Paul Sekufo was speaking at a forum organized by the West African Democracy Solidarity Network.
In insecurity, 4 countries in the sub-region are still managing political transitions. So this makes our election a domestic affair. There is this kind of reticence with resorting to court for expressing grievances. And some of the parties have made a declaration that they will want to stick to all the administrative processes. And you know there are limitations with these administrative processes. If you feel unsatisfied, the issue must be escalated, and the next available venue may be the courts. And if you don't go to the courts, how are we going to resolve some of these grievances? The peace pact is places a moral obligation on all the stakeholders. And I think I will conclude by asking the media to begin to repurpose your media conversation and discussions around the peace pact so that we can encourage and appeal to the political parties. And also, especially if I don't raise the demands that the NDC have made, then it will be very hypocritical. We must find ways to build consensus around their demands so that we can get the peace pact signed, and that can also be a moral guide going into the election. EC should open up and communicate with much more broader stakeholders beyond political parties, because the EC really explained to us how inclusive their processes are. They should engage a lot more with the public so that the public can understand some of these processes.
Away from politics, the Construction and Building Material Workers Union has called on the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, and other unions not to break away from organized labor. They contend any division will affect the strength of the labor union in negotiation on conditions of service and other demands of workers. General Secretary Richard Asamoah spoke to our labor correspondent Daniel Opoku in Accra.
Tensions are rife among some organized labor members after the leadership announced suspension of the nationwide strike. Unions such as the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, has proceeded to withdraw their services, accusing leadership of organized labor for acting in bad faith and showing gross disrespect. Barely 24 hours after UTAG declared a nationwide strike, other labor unions are also seeking the approval of their national councils to join the strike. But the General Secretary of the Construction and Building Materials Workers Union, Richard Asamoah, has called for calm. He called on other union leaders not to break away from organized labor.
If we should break away, it is even going to cost us. Let us not forget that united we stand, divided we fall. So I will advise other unions who are threatening to break away not to do that. We are one people with a common destiny. We want Mother Ghana back on track, our rivers back on track, our forests back on track. And these are ways we should sit to strategize. But not just to come out that we are breaking away because of partisan issues. It won't help us. No. We shouldn't allow any party to push us to the wall.
In another development, some of the organized labor union leaders have come under severe criticism for their action. General Secretary Richard Asamoah remains resolute.
I have not seen any leader collect such monies. And we, as union, will deal with any executives who might have gone in for such thing. I have not seen it. If it should come up, that's such a thing. And we believe we will have meetings upon meetings. And we are going to also check ourselves and see. But before God and man, I must say that I don't believe it until I see the corporates who are for that. For now, it is never true. We are for Mother Ghana, for cleaners. That is it. I don't think it would be better for me to go for money when there is an issue of destruction about our water bodies and forests.
He called on government to expedite action and ensure the implementation of the initiatives to be rolled out.
Government is calling for collaboration with the labor unions so that we can together have ways of coming out with sanity in the system. So now, I saw that, okay, why not suspend the issues like our leaders came out with? We suspend issues, look at the modalities that he has come out with, so that we'll see, we'll check if it is being done or not.
And now, Vice-Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Professor Johnson Nyako Boampong, is to remain at post after a Cape Coast High Court ruled that he remains as Vice-Chancellor. The Ghana Tertiary Education Commission says it is satisfied with the directive as that will ensure peace and harmony among management members in the school.
A Cape Coast High Court had granted an injunction filed by a resident of Millennium City, Kaswa, in the Central Region, one John Mevemio, against the tenure of the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Professor Johnson Nyako Boampong. The court decision restrained Professor Nyako Boampong from acting as Vice-Chancellor, but his lawyers filed an appeal against the ruling of the court, and the appeal was granted. On Thursday, management and council members of the university met with the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission (GTEC) to give clarity on the matter to stakeholders.
All that we can say is that we've come to brief the GTEC about the unfortunate thing that has been happening at the UCC. But now, by the grace of the Almighty God, the court says that the earlier decision had been set aside until the final determination. So Vice Chancellor is going to continue with his work until the court determines the final case.
GTEC and the Ministry of Education say they are satisfied with the directive and hope it will ensure peace and unity among council members at the university.
The VC is no more restrained. He can go on to perform his duties. And so for now, that is the position. It's a court ruling. So whether you are satisfied or not satisfied, you have to obey the ruling of the court.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Let's take a step back to our earlier story having to do with government's first action after the threat by organized labor had to be put on hold. So what we know is that immediately after the threat was suspended by organized labor and the aftermath of it, some military officers and police officers in collaboration with the small-scale miners today took action and went to some illegal mining sites where we are told that 18 shamfangs were destroyed, including 10 industrial water pumping machines. They were burnt by the police in the eastern region following the deployment of military personnel to stop illegal mining activities. Let's get the thoughts of Colonel Festus Abuaje, who is a security analyst. And, we spoke to him earlier this week to pick his mind on how all of this was playing out and whether or not the call for a state of emergency was the way to go. Colonel, a very good evening to you. Thank you for your time. Colonel, thank you for joining us. I can hear you. I hope you can hear me. If you can, my first question will be that what would your assessment be, considering the fact that immediately after the national campaign against illegal mining was halted, sort of, government took action, deployed the military. We are told that some action was taken where some devices were burnt. We seem to be having a slight challenge connecting to Colonel Festus Abuaje, who is a security analyst. But what do you make of the current development? I'm sure many of you who were also expecting organized labor to go ahead with their intended strike, that didn't happen. What do you make of it that now government seem to have organized the military, like they said, they would increase military activities along the river bodies to ensure that sanity prevails and the river is able to return to its normal state. Let's see once more to see if we can connect to... all right, so we'll try and get him on the line and speak to him on that.
Right, Martin, as we continue to wait for Colonel Abuaje, let's run this by viewers. The Environmental Protection Agency is warning the revocation of the Environmental Protection Regulations 2023 LI 2462 is not enough to curb the crisis. While the policy change is a step in the right direction, the Environmental Protection Agency says it lacks the necessary resources, both in manpower and funding, to enforce laws against illegal mining.
Appearing before Parliament's Assurances Committee, the Environmental Protection Agency noted that the crisis of illegal mining will require immediate and collaborative efforts.
If we do not act as quickly as yesterday, we are all in for the future will not be there, tomorrow will not be there for us to call Ghana. So I completely agree with you. The way you feel sad about those bottles in front of you is the same way I do. We all of us, we all need to act.
The EPA added it is ill-equipped to fight the menace and will require additional resources, including an increase in staff strength. The Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency further argued that calls for the revocation of the Environmental Protection Mining in Forest Reserves Regulations 2023 LI 2462 is insufficient to curb illegal mining activities.
We do not think that the repeal of the LI is the solution to the issue, and they're thinking that it is that LI that is promoting mining in forest reserve. It's a slightly misinformed position, because mining has been happening in forest reserve for years. The whole idea of that LI is actually to enable bodies such as the EPA to be able to regulate properly that kind of mining in forest reserve. So I personally do not think, and not just from the position of EPA also, that it is the repeal of the LI that is going to do the magic about what you are seeing in front of you.
Also appearing before the Assurances Committee was the Transport Ministry, led by Sector Minister Kweku Asiama. Responding to questions over the lack of operationalization of the whole airport and a lack of a national airline, Kwekosiama noted plans are far advanced to resolve the bottlenecks.
And the truth of the matter is that since the COVID period, there are no free available airlines anywhere even for people to even go and hire. Aircraft, even for people to go and hire because of the situation that we went through. For what I'm hearing from civil aviation, they've got to the final stage of issuance of their certificate.
When questions arose on the levels of security at the Kotoka International Airport, the minister had this to say.
Security at various airports, we collaborate with each other. At times, we even let people even sleep in for you to be busted at other airports, just to follow the trend and see how we solve it. We have also been busting people here on behalf of other countries. It's a network that we need to have a look at. If we look about the safety and security of our airport, Akau markets as one of the best in the world. At times, we let some of these things come out for people to know the integrity. So it's not everything in terms of security that we are supposed to let it out.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. We have the latest in the world of business for you after the break.
You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
I love President Charcoal. Why? When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste. That's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has 2 of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia, #1 on the ballot.
Sanlam and Allianz is now Sanlam Allianz, Africa's largest insurer.
Playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Avoiding injuries, easy. Winning, easy, Charlie. But you know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted granules. Just add water, then sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy, made easy. As I be street footballer, Gary at the top. Now we attend Starboy. Still Gary at the top. I travel go abroad. Kivo Gary at the top. Kivo Gary, he the bio. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
This advert is FDA approved.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, SoftCare always stays with you.
New SoftCare Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey. SoftCare. Protect your leap.
Live in a community where your neighbors become family. And where family is love that awaits you on a daily basis. Eden Heights, the height of modern living.
Welcome back to News 360. Before we go to business, let's try one more time. Hopefully we can get a better connection to Colonel Festus Abuaje, who is a security analyst, on government's latest action, which is to deploy additional military men to fight Galamsey. Colonel, good evening and thank you for your time.
Good evening and thanks for having me.
First, we would want to know your general assessment of the first day of government reinitiation of Operation Halt. What do you make of it that 18 Shamfan machines were burnt, 10 industrial water pumping machines were also burned, and we are told the military will be deployed and left at the river banks for some time? We don't know when, but they will be there for some time. How do you analyze or assess all of this?
Well, once again, thanks for having me. I think this is the laziest approach to combating any risk or threats to national security. You are saying that the report is that some 18 Chamfans and a certain number of heavy-duty pumping machines have been destroyed.
Yes.
What is the figure that over the 8 years, the state of Ghana has used intelligence to map out the Galamsey environment, to know how many people in which groups, on which river bodies, in which forest reserves are operating? Without that benchmark, you cannot actually determine that 18 in the first day is anything to write home about, because we don't have a baseline against which we want to measure this. That's the first point. The second point is that what is the time frame that the government is dealing with? Let's assume that in the short term we are dealing with 6 months. What political objectives have been set for the armed forces? That by 6 months, you should have destroyed 10% of Chamfans numbering 50,000, or 20% of caterpillars numbering 1 million. You should have arrested X thousands of illegal miners who are estimated to number XYZ. Now, I'm really baffled that with all the resources that we have invested in the state of Ghana, precisely in this government, with all the technologies that are being acquired for spying on political opponents, the state of Ghana cannot deploy resources to map out the Galamsey environment, so that today, the government should have presented that with a better plan. Now, what we have is not a plan. It's just a political gimmick, to buy time. You see, so if the soldiers are going to be there, for how long? We must look at the sustainability of the effort. Are they going back, as they did in 2018, 2019, for the menace to research, and then we deploy additional efforts to go and, combat it? There are so many things to say about this Galamsey, but that's only the military.
Colonel, sorry for butting in. There's also the argument that some government officials are making that this is not on the face of it a first step, and that the Operation Halt, the Operation Galamsey, Operation Vanguard, all of that are still in force somewhat, and this is just an additional measure to ensure that we get our water bodies back to their normal state. So how do you add that to the assessment?
Do you believe what the politicians are telling you, or what the politicians want us to believe? We all know that by 2018, 2019, the combating Galamsey was halted. The military may have been around the country for other reasons, like Operation Calm Life and so on and so forth, but definitely not to combat Galamsey. We have heard political actors telling us from the government side that Galamsey will not stop today, it will not stop tomorrow. That if they stop, they will lose power, and that party needs money. So politicians must not take us for dummies to say that it is an ongoing effort and just use words, to mesmerize Ghanaians. There was no effort that was ongoing. The 850 people who have been arrested and that the political actors are trying to suggest that are before court, how many of them are the financiers who buy caterpillars over and above $100,000 US? Or is it the Goro boys covered in mud that we have gone to arrest? Today we have destroyed this number of chamfans and so on. And I think I heard from your report that the perpetrators have run away because they got a hint.
Yes.
You see it. Now, I am not faulting the military at all. But if I were given that command, before this 4A movement, I would have sent advanced teams to go and cut off some of the escape routes.
Right.
And arrest as many as could be possible. Because if we don't arrest the people and we don't bring them to trial, including their financiers, we're wasting time. And I'm suggesting what the government is doing is just to confuse us.
Okay.
You cannot write home about this plan.
Right. Colonel.
It's not a plan.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much once again for your time this evening. Colonel Festus Abuaji, security analyst there, trying to help us put in better perspective today's action taken by government in tandem with the military and the legal miners, or the small-scale miners, I should say, in an attempt to help bring our water bodies to normalcy. We'll keep a very close eye on it and in subsequent bulletins update you as well.
By MTN. West Hills Ridge Property, Eden Heights.
Right, so time now for business on News 360. Let's delve right into it. The World Bank's World Development Report 2024 has identified 2 pathways for middle-income countries to avoid what they describe as the middle-income trap. The first strategy, according to the report, is for middle-income countries to transition from strategy to accelerating investment to a strategy that emphasizes both investment and infusion, in which a country brings technologies from abroad and diffuse them domestically. Once a country has succeeded, it can switch to a third strategy involving innovation.
There's no reason why Ghana, with its educated people, with lots of natural resources, with lots of so many other assets in terms of both its human capital as well as its natural resources, there's no reason why Ghana shouldn't be growing even faster, even at 5–10%. So I think what is missing here is a good combination of public and private investment. These are not things that can't be changed. These are things that can be changed fairly quickly. But I think that just finding a good blend of policies where the public investment or public spending is used well in high return projects, and public debt is kept at levels low enough that you're not crowding out private investment. Because ultimately, it is Ghana's private investors that will lead Ghana into high income. It's not going to be the government. The government can provide a good environment, or it can provide a less than good environment. I think that it is well within Ghana's capabilities to do both these things.
In more business news this evening, the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, has moved to reassure the public amid rumors of an imminent shortage of liquefied petroleum gas LPG in Ghana, dismissing claims made by the LPG Marketers Association. The association had previously warned that a shortage could begin next week, causing concern among consumers. There's more in this following report.
The Vice President of the LPG Marketers Association, Gabriel Kumi, recently warned in media reports that the country's current stock of LPG would only last for a week. He attributed this to a myriad of reasons and urged the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, to expedite efforts in addressing the situation.
The 3 depots put together will give us about 8,000 metric tons physical stock. Now, our national consumption is about 1,000 metric tons a day. Today is the 10th of October. The next vessel is expected in the country at the end of the month, which means that we need about 20,000 metric tons to sustain us till the end of the month. Atuabo is not back on stream as we speak. Ghana Gas is still struggling with production. If we are genuinely concerned about consumers, this is the time for us to ensure that there is abundant supply of the product on the market.
However, the NPA has intervened to ease concerns. In a statement, the regulator assured the public that measures are in place to ensure a steady supply of LPG to meet national demand. It added that over 20,000 metric tons of LPG is scheduled to be delivered latest by October 27 under the LPG tender program. It further stressed that there was sufficient LPG supply to last till the expected consignment arrives.
The Boardroom Governance Summit, a prominent event focused on promoting corporate governance, leadership and accountability, has been held in Accra to discuss how effective governance can drive sustainable development. It was convened by Professor Douglas Boateng in collaboration with SIGA, the Institute of Directors, the Ghana and Pan-Avest International Partners. The summit brought together industry leaders, board members and governance experts to explore these critical issues.
The event, under the theme Boardroom Governance, Accountability and Sustainable Development, the inextricable link, highlighted the crucial role of strong governance in achieving long-term organizational success and societal progress.
We need to grow our economy. We need to empower our people. We need to help support government in terms of the economic developmental agenda, not for tomorrow, but for generations to come. We can only do this through human capital development, and that is where obviously I spent a lot of my time to try and put a book together to help us to develop the human capital that is needed for us to be able to accelerate growth that will help with all of us.
Finance Minister Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam noted that the platform is essential in improving the decision-making and oversight capabilities of boards in their respective roles.
The Boardroom Summit is an opportunity for boards to know what they need to take into consideration when they are making decisions. They should not just look at their immediate environment, but they should look beyond, their environment. What factors beyond their environment affect the decisions that they make? And above all, we must seek to promote transparency and accountability in the way we do things.
One of the summit's key moments was the launch of Professor Douglas Boateng's latest book, Practical Perspectives on Boardroom Governance, which offers actionable insights and strategies for improving governance practices.
That's it for business on News 360. Stay with us. When we return, we'll be doing sports where the Black Stars we'll have details of the Black Stars game against Sudan for you.
How can we solve the unemployment crisis in Ghana? Yes, Massa.
By using formula 133.
Can you expatiate?
Say, this simply means 1 job, 3 shifts, 3 people. That is the Mahama 24-hour economy policy. Under this policy, businesses will be given tax incentives, cheaper electricity, financial support, and security support services to encourage them to work 24/7 by adopting 3 work shifts of 8 hours each. This will triple job opportunities in the country. This policy will boost production, increase productivity, and generate well-paying jobs in all participating businesses and public organizations.
Excellent. The 24-hour policy will be a game changer.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Do you know someone who's making a difference in your community? Someone whose selfless actions and dedication to helping others deserves recognition? Then it's time to celebrate these incredible individuals on MTN Heroes of Change.
It's time to nominate those selfless individuals to win 100,000 Ghana cedis and other cash prizes and be crowned MTN Hero of Change. You can also nominate a blogger or someone in the digital space and any of the media houses to win our new category of Digital Hero and Media Hero of Change. Just fill an online nomination form at mtn.com.gh or send a WhatsApp with a 1-minute video of your nominee's project on 055-141-1122. Deadline for nominations is 18th October 2024, so don't waste time. Nominate your hero now.
MTN Heroes of Change. Be the change you wish to see. this weather? Why did you let him go? He might fall ill.
And if he doesn't go out for practice, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from illness-causing germs during the rainy season, we use Dettol soap every day.
Dettol with Germ Defense gives you protection. Rainy season brings a lot of illness-causing germs, and Dettol soap's Germ Defense protects you from these germs. Be Dettol sure.
This advert is FDA approved.
Family house,
Coming rented down from our house, I say, for now.
About Anna, yes, 4 years in it. Anyway, say I'm
this Ghana man saying it here. A man, a man, Johnny Nipa, almost who actually is some who. Panamoana moto.
I'm a yellow, so the guy says, we see your family.
Send it to me. Yeah, your family. Now you didn't feed the Juma Abaha. Now, what to me, your production. I'm to me, I produce Muamonoma. Now, I did a Juma Abacroma say. Now, Muhammad to me, Tonoma, Amagana, a fair Munimo. I will come because we have a Nipa and I'm a young Nipa. And the other way, they say, let's vote them out. Let's vote them out. Let's vote them out. Let's vote them out. Let's vote them out.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. Ghana's Africa Cup of Nations hopes is on the rocks after a difficult draw against Sudan in Accra left the Black Stars third in the group standings. Ghana struggled for long spells, but several close misses by the likes of Mohamed Kudus, Antoine Semenyo and Inaki Williams, and superb goalkeeping by the Sudanese turned up to be Ghana's undoing. Ghana head coach Otuado claims the Black Stars were merely unlucky on the day.
The only thing which was missing was the goals, and surely we have to work on this. We have some few days to analyze it, how we can score better. The chances were there, a lot of chances, but this is football. This is football, sometimes very hard, difficult for us. So now it pains even more. The Niger game pains even more. And also the last-minute goal against Angola pains even more because today again we did well, and there's nothing much I can say, and just the result. And this is the most important thing in football. It's not correct, and I think we deserve to win, but we didn't. And we will stay positive, and we will beat them away with the same performance, the same passion, the same creativity up front. We will beat them away. Surely we will try to train finishing and give them confidence. That's all. This was the only thing which was missing. The spirit was good, the passion was there, the defensive discipline was there.
Well, the game was the first in Accra when it comes to competitive matches since 2021, and thousands of fans turned up to cheer the team at the Accra Sports Stadium. Many of them left disappointed, as my colleague Bilishan found out.
The dust has settled, but unfortunately for Ghana and Ghanaian fans, it ended 0-0, putting Ghana under even more immense pressure ahead of the second leg, which will take place in Libya on Tuesday. And so, with me here are a number of fans who, of course, watched the game from the start to finish, and I'm sure they have a lot of things to say. I'm going to start off with you. What do you make of the game?
Oh, Charlie, the players they disappoint with, especially Kudus. See, you just imagine. Yeah, here is the ball, and this is the line. Just tap it. Then you just play the ball to the keeper. How?
And me too, my point is that looking at the caliber of players that we have, we realize that in their foreign teams, we see Kudu scoring 2 goals, Semenyo scoring 3 goals and assists, but they come here with no passion. Alidu did very
well. Very, very disheartened fans there at the Accra Sports Stadium. But let's move over to the other side where Sudan's Ghanaian assistant coach Ignatius Osei-Fosu, he believes that Ghana played well, but were unlucky on the day.
That was really, really difficult. Ghana played so very well. I think it was hard luck for on Ghana's side because there were some footballs. My goalkeeper, our goalkeeper Mustafa, saved that I never thought would be saved. So for me, it's hard luck on Ghana's part. They played very, very well. But again, for us, we're defensively solid. We knew it was going to be hard because they have the fans against them, with them, and so they were going to come hard at us. So we're only waiting for some counter breaks, which I think we had 2 or 4 of them. But again, the end product was not that good for us.
Or before we go, let's look at the ramifications of the draw between the two sides. For Ghana, the AFCON qualifier so far, 3 matches, 0 wins, 2 points, and just 1 goal scored. For Otuado, his second stint continues to be a very difficult one for him. 7 matches so far, just 2 wins, 3 draws, and then 2 losses. We'll be bringing you more updates from the Accra Sports Stadium on our social media handles at 3SportsGH. My name is Ori Kwampofo, and up next on the bulletin is entertainment with Anita Kufu.
There is a business in every woman. And then she works, juggling all that matters to her in seeming effortlessness. One thing is for sure, there is a business in every woman. Introducing Telecel Women in Business, our initiative to empower women-led and women-owned enterprises. Accelerate your growth with finance and investment initiatives. Extend your reach with a free business website, access to digital and physical marketplace. Be empowered through exclusive networking and thought leadership platforms. Enjoy bonus reward with our Red Loyalty and lots more. To benefit from this initiative, be a female-led business and a Telecel business customer. Visit telecel.com.gh/business to register now.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
I see, Monsieur Namid 200 Ghana Koja, so sister. Buy your 5 cities and 40 Ghana. Hey, take 1 container your 40 to 50 pesos and not 20 Ghana. And a dancing or local do 30 Ghana. Aday, on my bay money away.
Oh, so Casa, Michel Dean. Sha. Dokura me di 20 Ghana. Ah me pay kura me 15 Ghana cedi a day. Omo be na ewo mi. Ya koya na ati yesan bai.
Hwe enye duane bo nko an ekosoro. John Dramani Mahama time. Smith 1 bag. Ne ye 24 Ghana cedis. Me nko to Smith 1 bag a yesi eye 108 cedis. Ayon Ross ye beton say. It is to say who see dan a. Say and I will say John Dramani Mahama ba me gie ya. Ye be wo.
Ya nya bibia fa ho akom be kuyen yo.
Akom ne de enkuyen. Ye be fa ye ho adwen pa. Na MPP aban. Wa die hwemo ankasa.
Me de menim wo haw. Na me de mehwe masetirem na mato ababa.
Ene sa na tie de a. Eye akufu ado ne ni ba wo mi a. Nyame ya dom ne se December 7 dura. Ye be tuo masese de YouTube.
Ye be tu ankasa.
Hwe wasetna moto abapa. E de sakra ya papa beba wa brabo mu. To abama John Mahama ne NDC.
Alive.
Release
Israeli airstrike killed at least 28 people and wounded dozens more sheltering at a school-turned-shelter in Deir al-Bala, central Gaza, the Palestine Red Crescent Society has said. The attack on the Rafida school injured at least 54 Palestinians, according to the Red Crescent. Hospital officials have confirmed the death toll. The Israeli military said it struck terrorists who were operating inside a command and control center at the school compound, saying numerous steps were taken to protect civilians. Footage shared online showed children being carried into ambulances, their faces covered with blood, and many of them screaming and crying. Many schools have been turned into shelters for the 1.9 million Palestinians who have fled their homes since the war in Gaza started a year ago.
And that's how we bring the bulletin to an end. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu Date.
And I'm Aisha Yakubu Khalid. Good evening.